讲中文的。
可以，我们帮你翻译。
太好了。
Okay, we can translate for you.
我们现在做一下最后一下的最后测试，现在就用麦克风听得到好了。
你们都
可以。等下我。
你有没有皮汤让你们看一下现场的观众？
好。
等一下，不然可以给他们看。
哦，这有权限吗？观众吗？
对啊。谁嗨？
好，不好意思。
So partially we speak in Chinese.
然后这边是会谈的现场。
嗨。
看到荧幕吗？
看到吗？
荧幕可以看。好，那我们因为我们时间有限，我们就直接先进入 Q&A。那导演，等一下，你那个简报已经打开了嘛？那您等一下就直接跟我们说那个，对，直接跟你说那个，直接说那个页数。那如果有一些我们比较可能音量有问题的地方，就是先跟我们说好吗？
有一点
可以吗？这边听得到。
麦克风你听得到吗？就是主持人讲话。
可以，能稍微大声一点。如果听不到的时候，可能那个前面的人帮我转述一下。
OK。
好。
Okay, so we just briefly introduce who is coming to here today. So after we see the sunflower occupation, we invited the activists next week to come to here today, this afternoon. Okay, say hi to. Hello. And also we have the student activists from Taiwan. The right hand side, the upper one is Chen Weiting. So,
Hi, Weiting.
Some of you have seen him in the documentary. He's like one of the leading activists for the sunflower movement. And the right lower one is director He Zhaoti. She's going to present the experiences from the Taiwan's filmmakers, how to making the video to record the social movement. So now we're just opening the time for the Q&A. If you have any question, ถ้ามีคำถามอยากถามที่ภาษาไทยหรือภาษาอังกฤษก็ได้เลยวันนี้เราก็มีคุณช่วยแปลภาษาไทย导演，我们现在先稍微让你做一下报告，好不好？
对不起，你说什么？
导演，现在先做一个简短的 PDF 的报告放给我，这个时间方便吗？OK。
可以。
那你告诉我按第几页，我就帮你。
Okay. So now actually the director herself wants to doing a brief introduction about how the team to making the documentary. Okay. So then briefly we have like a few minutes for the director herself with the file to introduce these films.
导演，我们可以开始了。
好的，可以，谢谢。
It's very so I'm going to have a very brief introduction about this film because I think I brought this film to many countries, different places, and most of the audiences they are interested in how we work together. So I'll just have a very brief introduction about that part. Please go to page 2. So I think the host has already told you about the background of the sunflower occupation movement, and let us go to the page 3. So, and next, please. If we go back to the year 1984, there is a very beginning of the social movement of the documentary, which called the Green Team, 绿色小组. So, next page. This is how they work on the street for the social movement over 30 years in Taiwan. Next, please. Now we are going to page 6, right?
7-6. Okay.
Maybe, yeah. Let's go to page 7. So we have, yes, page 7, please.
Yeah, it's page 7.
Okay. This documentary project, we have 10 films with 10 different film directors and producers, and 26 camera persons and 68 volunteer filmmakers. But totally, we have almost 200 people all working as volunteer for this project. Next, please. So who we are? We are Taipei Documentary Filmmakers Union. So we are all unionists at the very beginning. So as the sunflower occupation happened at the very beginning, I noticed that almost all the documentary filmmakers are at the street to document all the big event. So this picture is the first meeting among us that we decided at that night we are going to make a documentary. Next, please. So this is a documentary that we produced collective together. Then, next one. Let's go to page 10. Page 10. Yeah. This is how we work at the the first meeting. And page 12. We have a lot of shooting meetings everywhere. We borrow our colleagues' office or we have meetings on the street. So everywhere we can work together at any place. Page 13. So this is how we work. Page 13. 第13页. Then let's see page 14. This is how we work. We use Facebook Messenger as a meeting board. So that's this page I just mentioned about. We have to confirm every information before we move to any other place to shoot. And page 15. And page 16, please. That's all about production meetings. And on page 17, you can see our mother film director. She's changing the baby's diaper at the meeting. Then we come to the stage of rough cut. And then there is a very most important thing on page 18, that is how we got the money to produce it. We used the crowdfunding in the middle of the production. So during 2 months, we got totally the money is over 5 million NT dollars, which is very huge. Then I would like to introduce our colleagues. Next page. Two producers, who is I and producer Cai Chonglong. Then we have 10 different film directors who work for free. The first one is Fu Yu. Just like you saw the very first one about the story of Chen Weiting, the film director is Fu Yu. Then next one is Chen Yiqing and Cai Chonglong and Cai Jinru, Wang Zhahui, Li Huiren, Wang Peifen, Zhou Shilun, and then we go to Li Jiahua. So we have different short films, which are a commander made by accident, which is again the story about Chen Weiting, and the colorless sunflowers. Then the night of enlightenment, the rate of state apparatus. In the year 1990, 100 faces of the truth, 24 days without sunlight, collapse and reverse. And the last one is I'm here for Taiwan, sunflower movement. Then how we reach to our audience is turn to this page, which is the premiere at the year 2014. We went back to the street again, where the sunflower occupation started at the very beginning. So we occupied the street again after we finished this film. This is how we stand, all the colleagues stood on the stage. Next one, please. They are all the audiences. Over 1,000 people sitting on the street. So we have the outdoor premiere on the street. The next one, so you can see the stage, the screening, and the people over there. And next one, a spider little gentleman over there on page 43. The next one is one of the audiences who got tears. Then at the very last one, page 45, we try to say our best wishes to Hong Kong because at that time, Hong Kong has their own umbrella occupation. The next one is for what we document. Next one, please. Maybe we can say we document for a better future for Taiwan. And the next one, and for a better future of Taiwanese documentary. Next one, please. So even though we have a lot of so-called state apparatus and the police and all the violence around us, next one, we still wish to go forward with hope. Then, page 51. So that's all about a brief introduction about this production. Thank you very much.
你们现在稍微简短的翻译一下泰文稍微跟他们讲一下。
ค่ะเดี๋ยวต่อไปนะคะจะเป็นสรุปขั้นตอนการทำสารคดีสั้นๆนะคะคือสำหรับกลุ่มผู้ที่ทำสารคดีนะคะชื่อว่ากลุ่มไทเป Documentary Filmmaker Club ค่ะซึ่งเขามีการรวมตัวกันนะคะเพื่อทำสารคดีเกี่ยวกับSunflower Occupation นะคะที่เกิดขึ้นในปี 2014 ค่ะโดยมีผู้กำกับหรือฟิล์มไดเรคเตอร์เนี่ยกว่า 10 คนแล้วก็มีวอลเทียที่มาช่วยถ่ายด็อกิเมนทรีหรือถ่ายสารคดีในจุดต่างๆเนี่ยกับจำนวน 200 คนนะคะแล้วก็การถ่ายทำเนี่ยก็มีการระดมเงินจากประชาชนซึ่งเขาบอกว่าก็ได้มากกว่า$5 ล้านไต้หวันแล้วก็ซึ่งตอนนะคะก็จะแบ่งเป็นตอนต่างๆค่ะจำนวน10 ตอนค่ะแล้วก็ค่ะตอนถ่ายทำนะคะก็จะมีพวกเหตุการณ์รุนแรงแล้วก็มีเหตุการณ์จราจรขึ้นแต่ว่าเขาก็ยังถ่ายต่อไปค่ะด้วยความหวังนะคะค่ะ
Okay, so we are very lucky to have both the director and the activist coming from Taiwan and also NetSuite to be here. So we just invite all of you to can raise your questions ที่ภาษาไทยภาษาอังกฤษก็ได้ครับมีคำถามไหมครับ
ขอถามใช่ไหมครับคำถามแรกอยากถามผู้กำกับคืออยากถามผู้กำกับก่อนว่าทีมที่มาทำเนี่ยเป็นพื้นฐานเนี่ยเป็นคนทำสารคดีอยู่แล้วหรือเปล่าหรือว่าทำหนังประเภทอื่นๆแล้วเป็นขึ้นครั้งแรกมาทำสารคดีนะคะกับคำถามที่2เนี่ยความหวังของผู้กำกับและทีมเนี่ยที่บอกว่าอยากเห็นสารคดีในไต้หวันเนี่ยคือนอกเหนือจากอยากเห็นไต้หวันดีขึ้น เราก็อยากเห็นสารคดีในไต้หวันดีขึ้นด้วยเนี่ยไอ้วัตถุประสงค์ข้อ2เนี่ยที่อยากเห็นสารคดีไต้หวันดีขึ้นเป็นยังไงบ้างหลังจากภาพยนตร์สารคดีเรื่องนี้ออกฉาย
我们泰文问题先翻成英文，然后
Okay. So the first question is okay the volunteer the people who made the film, do they have like any knowledge of documentary filming before they actually came to help during filming this sunflower occupation, or do they have any experience before they gathered together and make the documentary? And the second question is, what your purpose of this documentary is to see the positive changes of the documentary process or documentary in Taiwan, and like has that like changed after the release of the film? Like, is there any positive feedback or yeah, that's the question.
那第一个问题问说，这个片子的纪录片的都是一些纪录片专业的摄影人士去帮忙做的这个片子吗？还是他们其实有其他的纪录片导演经验？这个 team， 他想问一下工作。
拍摄者都是电影专业的。
对，然后第二个问题，他问说有没有一些正面的一些回馈或是一些影响？
针对纪录片工产业有没有一些正面的回馈？在完成。
OK。对不起，我问一下，现场有听不懂中文或泰文的人吗？如果有第三语言，我们才需要用英文，是不是这样？因为我觉得我们要拍2次，会不会花太多时间？
对，我觉得好像用英文会比较快，但是
还是这方面的话可以直接用
对，直接用英文讲。
然后我们再用泰文做一个简单的大纲。
OK， 好。The first question about most of us are professional filmmakers. At least those film directors I introduced on the PowerPoint. We are all professional documentary filmmakers, but very few of us, just like I mentioned about, we had 68 colleagues working together. I think probably 10 to 15 of them are mature, they are not professional, but most of us are professional filmmakers. But also, by the way, in Taiwan it's very special that I think Taiwan is we have the most documentary filmmakers in the world. Documentary in Taiwan is a very popular type of production. So this is the first one. And the second one, I think both positive and negative feedback. Most of the people that came to the theater, they had a very positive and got very touched by this movement and by the documentary film. But some of them, I think maybe later waiting can mention about that. Some of the audiences, they got very kind of emotional. They are also from the film. I think maybe waiting 待会也许可以补充一下，就是说绝大多数人是有正面的回应，可是有少部分人他们会觉得他们是在影片或者在运动过程中，他们觉得在差异化的过程中他们没有被看到，所以这个部分也许some of the parts about the movement itself, I think maybe waiting could mention about that later.
你要先翻吗？还是
Okay, so some of the feedback is positive, but the director want to mention that the audiences, some of them are still differentiated inside, so some of them still have different opinions about the films.
Especially those people who be filmed in the documentary, they after they watch this documentary, they feel in another feeling, like not positive one after they watch it. And now waiting might have some other.
Yeah, so firstly, my English is not so good, so if I cannot tell this in English, please I will turn into Chinese and please translate for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm translating, and I'm one of the sunflower movement leader, and I'm in the first part in the documentary. And after the movement, we form our own party, named New Power Party, and now I'm an assistant in the party for introduction. And for the question, first one is that, yeah, the director of the team is quite professional, and I mean the director of my party is a long-term director who is record my life or movement for about 4 to 5 years, and this is the third documentary she made for recording my life. So, and she's quite professional one, and other ones are professional too. This is for the first questions. And about second question is that I think for myself the documentary has a lot of meaning because during the movement we don't have so quite because the period of the movement is quite long because we occupy the legislative period for about 24 days. And during the movement, there are lots of complicated issues, lots of conflicts within the group, within the movements. So this is the first choice or first opportunity I can tell the audience or tell the public so honestly to tell them my the conflict or my feeling of the movement. So you can see that in the documentary I was so I'm quite honest to say that I'm afraid of to in the end of the documentary my last word is that I finally discovered that I'm afraid of democracy. It's like a contradiction, but to be a leader, so-called leader of the movement, to face the opposite of the movement. There are lots of conflicts there. So for me, the documentary is a quite good opportunity to tell the truth or true feeling of the movement. And on the other hand, just like what the director He Zhaoti has said, or that there are lots of conflict within the movement. So some of the groups in the movement may think that why the documentary spend too much time to focus on one people or just few people dealing with few issues but not cover others on the opposite, because in the movement some people think that we were not doing great in the movement. We cover lots of feeling or issues in the movement. We should be more radical to the government, or we ignore the feeling or ignore the feeling of people who occupy the executive yuan or something like that. There are some complex issues there, but I think there are no documentary can cover all the issues in the movement. But the documentary is the first one who try to dealing with the complicated issues, and in the just past 4 years there are other documentaries try to deal with the problem as well. So we can say that just yesterday there are another documentary had release their 预告片 had released their trailer to Facebook. So there are still lots of people to try to do this. I think it's quite vivid and healthy. Thank you.
So does anyone want to raise more questions?
These Taiwanese people, are they aware of the Thai situation of Thai politics?
You mean you want to know, do they know Thai situation?
Yeah, are they aware of the situation?
Yeah, I have to be honest. Okay, I'll answer first. I have to be honest. I don't have so much understanding on politics in Thailand. Yeah, what we know is, or what our news will report is about your new king and your new ministerial government to do, and we can understand that your government just decide to suspend your general election, and but because of the organization built by Lin Feifan, another leader of the Sunflower Movement, and my partner Lin Feifan, who is studying in the UK, they built an organization with Hong Kong's Joshua Wong and also Netwit. 他的名字叫什么呀？对，他叫怎么念？他 Netwit. Cute name. Okay. I mean, Netwit and Joshua Wong and Lin Feifan, they built an organization, and to talk and concern about the democracy situation in Asia. So we can get the information from them. So I heard of some of your protests or demonstration toward your government. So that's what I know. But I do appreciate what you're doing in your country, because in our country, when we decide to occupy our legislature, we know that maybe we will be charged by the government. But but at least we know that we will not face a long-term sentence or be put in jail for a quite long time. Actually, 2 days ago, I was just declared innocent by our court. So our judicial system is quite strong. That our court will protect. We know our court will protect our rights to maybe doing so-called civil disobedience on the street or toward the government. So what we will burden is quite different, from you in your country. So I do appreciate and admire your work in Thailand.
For my part, similar to waiting, but I'm quite curious and do you have a follow-up question?
About the film, right?
No, about the audience's question.
Okay.
Because you asked us about are we familiar with Thailand social movement and political circumstances. So I'm interested in what you are going to ask next.
So any more questions want to ask
She's
about
curious
Taiwan
about
politics?
what is your next question, like why you raise this. Are they aware of the Thai situation as what you try to regard to, like what you try to them? Do you have any developing question you want to ask?
Yeah, I mean, or is there any advice from them to the Thai audience or the filmmakers?
他的意思应该是他想问说，你们有没有想要对泰国这边的学生或他们的电影就是讲什么，就是关于我们在台湾的经验，有没有想要对泰国人想说的？导演可能可以就是回答
Yeah, I thought of that before this discussion session. I thought of that a lot actually. That I think Taiwan has gone through a long period of time about the how to get a better supplementary system. And I don't think it's very clear. It's very important for me to clear one thing. I don't think Taiwan has a higher or advanced state compared to Thailand. So I think every country is different. So before this discussion, I think probably before you in Thailand, you will have a different way to work together. I mean, for the filmmakers, work together to make a film. Because I can tell very clearly that it would be really, really difficult for you in Thailand to produce or to collect it, to have a production in your country. It's very clear that for me, when I look back to like 20, 30 years ago when I was younger, there were a lot of social movements and a lot of more violent circumstances in Taiwan. So back to that time, to carry a camera on the street, you would probably put you into jail, or you have taken your risk to lose your life, something like that. And so I can imagine it would be more difficult to have a so-called guerrilla media movement in Thailand. But I think nowadays in Taiwan, from that period of stage, so we are different societies, so that's quite.
待会现在做一个简单的泰文的概述。
ค่ะเดี๋ยวขอสรุปคำตอบของแอคทิวิสต์ท่านนี้กับคนที่ผู้กำกับสั้นๆนะคะคือตอนเอาคำถามเกี่ยวกับเรื่องสถานการณ์ในประเทศไทยก่อนว่าเขารู้ดีแค่ไหนคือนักเคลื่อนไหวนะคะท่านนี้เขาตอบว่าคือเขาไม่ค่อยมีความรู้มากเกี่ยวกับประเทศไทยแต่เขาก็รู้ว่าเรามีกษัตริย์องค์ใหม่เรามีรัฐประหารแล้วได้รัฐบาลใหม่ขึ้นมานะคะแล้วเขาก็รู้ว่าการเลือกตั้งของประเทศไทยเนี่ยได้ถูกเลื่อนออกไปด้วยแล้วก็รู้ว่าคือการที่จะเคลื่อนไหวในประเทศไทยเนี่ยมันอาจจะยากกว่าในไต้หวันหน่อยเพราะว่าคือระบบกฎหมายของไต้หวันนะคะมันจะเอื้ออำนวยให้เขาทำได้มากกว่าที่เราทำอย่างเช่นคือเมื่อเขาตัดสินใจออกไปประท้วงเนี่ยเขาก็รู้ว่าเขาอาจจะไม่ต้องได้โทษอะไรที่มันหนักหนาสาหัสมากเท่ากับที่เราจะเผชิญเหมือนแบบตอนที่เนติวิทย์ออกไปประท้วงอย่างนี้เป็นต้นนะคะค่ะแล้วก็สำหรับเรื่องสื่อนะคะก็สั้นๆเลยก็คือประมาณว่าเขาก็เข้าใจว่าการเคลื่อนไหวทางสื่อของประเทศไทยเนี่ยมันอาจจะไม่ง่ายเหมือนที่ไต้หวันที่คือไต้หวันเนี่ยเขามีคนทำสารคดีเยอะแล้วเขาก็การรวบรวมคนที่จะมาฟิล์มอะไรเหตุการณ์อะไรเงี้ยมันอาจจะง่ายกว่าประเทศไทยแล้วประเทศไทยเวลาประท้วงก็อาจจะแบบรุนแรงกว่ามันก็อาจจะยากกว่าที่สื่อจะเคลื่อนไหวค่ะ
So there's one more question from there. You can maybe come here to raise your question. Sorry. Yeah.
Very interesting movie. I'm come from Burma, and then we have also have the 4 or 5 students movements also it's very hit to me, so I really decided to do it. One of my question is that who gave this movement name, the Sunflower Edition, or is a different name or the movement name? Who gave it? It's very interesting to me.
因为他可能是比较迟到，所以没有听到前面那个讲。
ค่ะสำหรับคำถามนะคะคือคนถามเนี่ยเขามาจากประเทศพม่าแล้วเขาก็บอกว่าที่พม่าเนี่ยก็มีพวกการเคลื่อนไหวของนิสิตนักศึกษาอยู่เหมือนกันเขาอยากรู้ว่าไอชื่อ Sunflower Movement เนี่ยที่เป็นชื่อของการเคลื่อนไหวในครั้งนี้ใครเป็นคนตั้งให้คะ
导演加油。
I answer the Zoom part first, then maybe waiting can have some other answers.
I answer first because
Okay.
nobody named the movement is Sunflower Movement because nobody to do that because in the second day, at the very first we didn't, when we decided to occupy the legislative yuan, we didn't, we never think about what would be the name of the movement, because what we imagine is when we, occupy the building and the police will kick us out, and it won't be an occupation because we never, we did try to occupy the legislative yuan for several times, but we always failed. But we always fail to do that because just before the Sunflower Movement. But so what we imagine is when we burst into the building and we'll be kicked out, so it won't be a occupation. So there's no any problem about the name. We didn't imagine we need a name. But in the second day of the movement, there are lots of sunflower, just who we don't know who put the sunflowers on the stage, and the media was so surprised to ask me. So I remember a reporter asked me that is that sunflower is that you to put the sunflower on the stage? So are you Sunflower Movement now? And I say, and they ask that. So what's the meaning about flower? So can you explain? So I was so confused because I was so tired. I just woke up, in 30 minutes, and I was so confused. Who put the flowers there? And I say, yeah, that's sunflower. It means that maybe sunlight, bright darkness in the politics in Taiwan, and then the reporter decided to call the movement Sunflower Movement. So, and after that day, all the Taiwanese media decided to call the movement Sunflower Movement. And some of us just, accept that. But lots of the participants of the movement still, until today, they refuse to call that movement Sunflower Movement. They just call that movement of March 18, which is the day we occupy the legislation. But the reason why the media decide to call the movement Sunflower Movement is because of 27 years ago, there is a wild lily, is another flower, wild lily movement, which is just before the ruling party, because that is a period of the authoritarian regime is still governing Taiwan, which is a timing the ruling party which is key timing the ruling party decide will give the public or give the people the general election or not. It's just like a period what the Thailand people is facing now. at that time, there are thousands of students, maybe including Director Ho. Lots of students decide to occupy a forum, and then the government decide to commit that they will give the people the general election to elect the legislative representatives in legislature and give the people the right to vote for their presidents, to vote to elect president directly. That's the timing. I mean, 27 years ago, there is a wild lily, another flower, wild lily movement, who is launched by students, and so the media just directly linked the flower to another flower, so decide to call it sunflower movement. So actually, sunflower movement is named by the media. Okay, that's the answer.
ค่ะสำหรับ
Okay, I just have a very. Do you want to translate first?
Okay, sure. 一下子。
ค่ะสำหรับชื่อ Sunflower Movement นะคะ อันนี้ก็สื่อเป็นคนตั้งให้ค่ะ เพราะว่าก่อนที่เขาจะเข้าไปยึดParliament หรือยึดรัฐสภาเนี่ยเขาไม่ได้คิดมาก่อนว่าเขาจะตั้งชื่อว่าอะไร แล้วพอเข้าไปวันที่2เนี่ยก็มีคนไปวางดอกทานตะวันไว้บนเวทีเต็มไปหมดเลย คราวนี้สื่อก็เลยมาถามเขาว่าเนี่ยทานตะวันดอกทานตะวันเยอะอย่างนี้แสดงว่าตอนนี้คือคุณใช้ชื่อว่า Sunflower Movement หรือการเคลื่อนไหวดอกทานตะวันหรือเปล่า แล้วคราวนี้เขาก็ไม่ได้แพลนไม่รู้ว่าใครเป็นคนวางดอกทานตะวันไว้ใช่ไหมคะแล้วก็คราวเนี้ยแล้วมันคือมันยังเกี่ยวข้องกับแบบเหตุการณ์ปี 1990 คือมันมีการเคลื่อนไหวที่ชื่อว่าการเคลื่อนไหวดอกลิลลี่ป่าด้วยก็มันเลยดูเป็นแบบนี้ก็ดอกไม้อันนั้นก็ดอกไม้อะไรเงี้ยค่ะสื่อเขาก็เลยตั้งแต่นั้นสื่อเขาก็เลยเรียกว่าการเคลื่อนไหวดอกทานตะวัน Sunflower Movement ค่ะ
So we got to the next. 当然要补充吗？
补充一下，at the moment, I do agree. Sunflower is misidentity of the movement, if I could say so. So a better way to end this movement is March 18. But at the time, we produced this film. It was a very short time. It was like only less than 7 months. So we had to finish everything. So we need a very loud, very big name that everybody knows what it is, which is sunflower. Although at the very beginning it was a misunderstanding and a misidentity to this social movement. But I think at that moment, I don't think we had any other choice. We thought about like hundreds of names at the meetings. For example, like the day we occupied the street, and the song is out there, something like that. But I think that for a title, film title, it should be very short and clear. So now we, at the very end, the conclusion was, okay, we should take sunflower occupation as the name of, as the title of this film. But now I think for this film, it's not a complete work for me. I think it's now it becomes something like archive of the history, because I don't think it's very complete. For a complete documentary film, it will take like at least 2 years to make it, to finish it. So at the time we need, because there was a very important campaign coming up very close, which is the 县市长的选举. So we decided that we had to finish the film and then make everybody saw that before that campaign. So it's possible for the audience who saw this film can make a different choice.
ค่ะสำหรับผู้กำกับนะคะเขาก็เห็นด้วยว่าไอชื่อ Sunflower Movement เนี่ยมันอาจจะเป็นชื่อที่ไม่ได้เป็นชื่อที่ทางการหรือว่าชื่อที่นักเคลื่อนไหวเขาตั้งกันเองแต่ว่ามันเป็นชื่อที่ทุกคนรู้จักในนามแบบหลังจากสื่อเขาเรียก Sunflower Movement คือทุกคนก็รู้จักการเคลื่อนไหวนี้ในนาม Sunflower Movement เขาก็เลยใช้ชื่อนี้นะคะมาตั้งเป็นฟิล์มก็คือ Sunflower Occupation ค่ะแล้วสำหรับเขารู้สึกว่าหนังเรื่องเนี้ยมันดูเหมือนหนังที่ยังทำไม่เสร็จสำหรับเขาเพราะว่าด้วยเวลาที่มันกระชั้นชิดมากๆแล้วมันดูเป็นเหตุการณ์ทางประวัติศาสตร์มากกว่าดูเป็นแบบหนังอะไรเงี้ยค่ะแล้วอีกอย่างมันมีเหตุการณ์คือมีการเลือกตั้งที่กำลังเข้ามาด้วยแล้วเขาก็หลายๆคนก็อยากไปถ่ายทอดตรงนั้นเนี่ยค่ะเขาก็เลยรีบๆการทำงานแล้วก็ใช้ชื่อ Sunflower Occupation เป็นหนังเลยค่ะชื่อหนัง
So because the director herself needs to maybe leave soon, so maybe we have the next another question. If you want to raise a question.
I have a question.
Okay.
I mean, does Netflix does Netflix have any response or feedback on this movie? And second one is that the Thailand people. I mean, so do you think there is any help we can do for Thailand? Yeah, that's my question.
他这个部分要不然他一直用泰文讲，然后我们等一下再偷偷跟你讲他讲的什么，我们这样比较有时间。没有好，没有问题。
直接讲，那个问题要先翻成泰文。
你看他。
他会说他觉得在这边的想法是什么，还有他们有什么可以做的地方。
Yeah, what do you feel about this? He said it's like a big question. Maybe.
I have to, write the essays for you. I think it's really interesting that I watched the film and I experienced.
有点小，让我讲一下。
你可以用中文跟我们讲。
Okay. I think that I experienced the joyful moment, very joyful moment that I watched the film. I want Thailand to have like this.
For yourself.
Shooting yourself.
Oh, now someone, shooting my documentary.
Police.
Yeah. Actually, I have some reflection, long reflection. So I think maybe finish. People can ask the question to the director, and then I will answer. Okay.
Yeah. So now we save the time for the director. So we save the time for the audience to raise a question because we still have more time. Waiting for himself will stay online longer. So if you have any questions, please. Yeah, sure.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, so I feel that youth and idealism go together, and I actually have two different questions. So the first one is that in one scene I see a young girl and she's crying to her mother, and she's telling her that she doesn't feel like studying anymore because it's meaningless and her future is unknown. So maybe during this age is when young people feel the need to change the world. And my question is that for the activist, is his name Wei Ting? Yes. Okay. Wei Ting. So what events inspired you to participate in changing these social issues? And for the director as well, when you were younger, what inspired you, or did you want to change your society or whatever? And the second question is that's the first one. Okay. And that's the second one is that, all right, the sunflower occupation. So for both of you, do you think, in your own opinion, what changes did this movement make in Taiwan? Yeah.
想问第二位想问说这个运动太阳花运动，你觉得台湾有什么很重大的改变可以分享？
这两个问题好大。
会评先好吗？
啊
对，我们这个问题先让我们10秒钟，让我们翻一下泰文。
ค่ะเดี๋ยวคำถามนะคะมี2คำถามค่ะคำถามแรกก็คือสำหรับผู้กำกับเองแล้วก็สำหรับนักเคลื่อนไหวนะคะมีเหตุการณ์อะไรบ้างที่มันอินสปายคือมันทำให้เขารู้สึกว่าอยากลุกขึ้นมาแล้วมาทำอะไรเพื่อเปลี่ยนแปลงสังคมกับคำถามที่2ค่ะก็คือหลังจาก Sunflower Occupation หลังจากการเคลื่อนไหวครั้งนี้จบลงแล้วนะคะมันได้สร้างความเปลี่ยนแปลงอะไรให้กับสังคมบ้างค่ะ
好，那您可以请回应，谢谢。
Okay, so the first answer is that my first time I decided to join the social movement is when I was 16, and because I was a senior high school student and I was an editor of the magazine in our school, so I had to interview social movements. And at that time, I realized that, and the encounter did give me lots of questions because I realized I discovered that there are lots of difference. I mean, when I saw the police, how the police treat the people who join the movement. I saw how the mass media report the events, and I see how the government respond the movements. I saw that the mass media and the government are always telling lie, and I finally discovered that the mass media might always cheat on me. You know, so I was so angry at that time. I feel that I thought I see the truth and why the mass media always cheat on me. So I think the very beginning is the feeling of cheated, being cheated. That's the point. That's the reason why I decide to continue to join the social movement, because I don't want to be cheated. I want the people to see the truth. That's a core reason I decide to join the movement and continue to do that. And the second question, after the Sunflower movement, because the period of the Sunflower movement is, back then we was ruling by pro-China party, and their goal is try to so-called reunify with China government or with China. So, but after the Sunflower movement, the pro-independence party had get a power in the legislature and in presidential office. So by now we have suspend the goal setting by China and a pro-reunification party, and so at this our government won't try to set up more economical or political agreement or with China government. So, in the second huge change is that we built our own new party, which is called New Power Party, and other people also build a third, fourth party because there are in Taiwan we have two major party, and our goal is try to build a new one to radicalize the political issues. So we built our own party. We have we now have 5 seats in legislature, and so we can make the government to be more concentrated on maybe Taiwan independence issue, or to make them to put more focus on more fair or justice, economical issues, like something like that. Is our goal. So I think after Sunflower movement, we let more young generation people to concentrate on economic reform. The goal is what we want to let the economic system to be more so-called left wing to care more about social justice, and another one is to make more people to concern about Taiwan independence issues to protect our own sovereignty. I think it's a healthy and successful aftermath. Okay, thank you.
ค่ะสำหรับคำถามนะคะคำตอบสำหรับคำถามแรกเนี่ยก็คือตอนที่เขาอายุ 16 เนี่ยเขาเป็นบรรณาธิการนิตยสารของโรงเรียนแล้วเขาได้มีโอกาสไปสัมภาษณ์พวกผู้ที่ออกมาเคลื่อนไหวผู้ที่ออกมาชุมนุมอะค่ะแล้วเขาก็ได้รับรู้ว่าตำรวจเนี่ยเขาปฏิบัติกับผู้เคลื่อนไหวเหล่านั้นอย่างไรแล้วก็รับรู้ว่าการที่สื่อเนี่ยนำเสนอข่าวเนี่ยมันต่างจากกับความเป็นจริงอย่างไรแล้วเขารู้สึกว่าเหมือนเขาโดนหลอกอะค่ะจากสื่อจากโทรทัศน์อย่างเงี้ยค่ะเขาก็เลยรู้สึกว่าเขาอยากออกมาเคลื่อนไหวทางการเมืองค่ะสำหรับคำถามที่2นะคะที่ถามว่าหลังจากเหตุการณ์ Sunflower Occupation แล้วเนี่ยสังคมในไต้หวันมันมีการเปลี่ยนแปลงยังไงบ้างคือก่อนอื่นนะคะก่อนที่จะเกิดเหตุการณ์นี้ขึ้นเนี่ยพรรคที่มีเสียงข้างมากในสภาเนี่ยเป็นพรรคที่โปรจีนหรือพรรคที่สนับสนุนจีนก็ส่วนมากก็จะมีนโยบายแบบอยากให้ทำข้อตกลงกับจีนอยากกลับไปศาลความสัมพันธ์อยากกลับไปรวมกับจีนอย่างเงี้ยเป็นต้นนะคะแล้วพอหลังจากเหตุการณ์ขึ้นนี้นะคะคือเขามีพรรคการเมืองใหม่เข้ามาก็คือพรรคการเมืองใหม่ที่เข้ามามีบทบาทคือเป็นเสียงส่วนมากในสภาเนี่ยก็คือพรรคที่โปรอินดิเพนเดนต์หรือพรรคที่สนับสนุนการแบบมีอธิปไตยเป็นของตัวเองพรรคที่เป็นไต้หวันมากขึ้นพรรคที่ไม่ฝักใฝ่จีนนะคะแล้วก็ความเปลี่ยนแปลงอย่างที่2นะคะก็คือหลังจากเหตุการณ์เนี่ยพวกเขาคือนิสิตนักศึกษาเนี่ยเขาได้รวมตัวกันเพื่อตั้งพรรคขึ้นมาใหม่โดยตอนนี้เนี่ยมีสมาชิกสภานิติบัญญัติที่มาจากพรรคเขาอยู่5คนซึ่งคนเหล่านี้ก็เป็นคนรุ่นใหม่ที่สนับสนุนพวกนโยบายที่สนับสนุนอธิปไตยสนับสนุนการปกครองตนเองแล้วก็สนับสนุนนโยบายที่คนรุ่นใหม่ให้ความสนใจเป็นต้นค่ะ
Well, it's not easy to answer that because I think for myself, as a person, I cannot stop myself to ask a question. To ask a question is very important for me. When I was younger, I worked as a journalist in a TV station, but gradually I found myself was not happy. I was not happy to ask questions which my boss asked me to ask. I was not happy that I cannot ask a real question from the bottom of my heart. So then I decided I have to make an important decision that is it important to have a stable life, or it's more important to have a happier life, even though I have not, I don't have a stable economical security, something like that. So after that, I think I asked myself a question that if I stay with that position as a journalist in TV station for after 10 or 15 years, what will I be? And will I be happy with over 10 or 15 years later? My answer was I couldn't be happy. So I decided to quit my job and become a independent documentary filmmaker. And well, so that's now who I am. That I think I become happier, and I never think I can change the society or something with my work, because I had a very, I think it was a very deep, anxious inside of my heart, which is I'm afraid that everything would be go backward if we don't work harder. So, 就是我们的社会不会因为努力而进步，只是会我们要非常非常努力才会不让它退步一点点，要不然它就是很快的就是往回打回原形。